Have you ever played a game that was so bad that it was actually unplayable? Like the game went to market without any type of actual playtesting. It's not rare to play a bad game, but to play a game that's so functionally unplayable because of how the game was made. When I was younger, I found such a game. I thought what I saw was a game that looked pretty cool. I mean, the box art was pretty solid. It had a sweet dystopian look to it, and I loved that. It even had a kind of a neat sci-fi premise for the game, with Earth being occupied by an alien invader, something I hadn't really encountered before. All of these things seemed to fit with what I thought would make an awesome game. Oh, I was so wrong. Anne McCaffrey's Freedom First Resistance. I feel bad for this woman. She let these guys put her name on the box. And if you're wondering who Anne McCaffrey is, she's actually a science fiction writer who gained prominence in the 50s and 60s for her notable work with alien invasion storylines. And now, people like me only know she exists because of this terrible game. But back to the game. Freedom First Resistance takes place on Earth after the aliens have invaded, and basically destroyed most of humanity's forces. And as a result, mankind is scattered to the wind, and what remains is forced into different internment camps all over the globe. Those who don't live in the camps live in the sewers, and are known as scavengers, and they'll occasionally trade with the individuals who live in the camps. And as far as we know in the story, there's a small group of resistance fighters who have been waging a war against the aliens for independence, but unfortunately that isn't going well. Enter our main character, Angel. She's a young woman living in one of the internment camps based in a mall. As far as we know, she's lost all contact with her family and has no idea if they're alive or not. She awakes one morning to discover a letter from the Resistance requesting her to join. In order to do so, she must escape the camp and evade all the human collaborators who kind of patrol the streets outside the mall. This is much easier said than done. Let's talk about something related to this game. 16 years ago, I never beat this game. I beat the first level and found myself stuck on the second level. I tried countless things to defeat it, and I always found myself trapped and unable to advance. I'm actually fairly certain this game planned for that. And my theory is reassured by the fact that there's actually a 1-900 number in the back of the CD case, charging 95 cents a minute to give hints and clues to advance the game. I've always wanted to beat the game level, but I never could. But let's give this a shot.
Don't just think about a fantasy tonight. Pick up the phone and call the Fantasy Girls.
Hello, thank you for calling the Hairy Palm, where we'll let you have a grip on your situation. My name is Veronica. I'm gonna make you so horny, baby.
Funny, you don't sound like a Veronica.
Oh, okay, you got me. My name is Marcela.
Okay. Actually, I'm calling about the video game Freedom First Resistance. Does that ring a bell at all?
What? Holy shit! Someone is actually calling about the game. Hold on, I have to get the guidebook. Wait a second, please. It's been a while, actually. No one's called for that for years and years. Let me see here. Okay. Okay, this actually has been. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Almost there, almost there. Okay, here we go. Alright. We haven't gotten a call about this in over a decade. We started taking sex lines calls just, to keep the lights on.
How noble of you to man a ship this long.
So, what's your question?
Okay, how the hell do I get past level 2? I mean, there's a stupid unlocked door at the back of the map that I have no idea where the key is. How do you get to that? And not to mention the stupid stealth functions in this game are terrible.
Okay, let me find it out. Okay, here we go. You just have to kill the guards and grab their weapons.
Wait, you can attack people?
Yeah, you just get close with nothing equipped, of course, and punch them to death.
What the hell? The game never explains that. You just literally are thrown into these situations.
What? It's a bad game. Why do you think we charge 95 cents a minute just to answer your questions?
Okay, that's actually a really good point. So where's the key to finish this stupid level?
In a pile of dirt in the leasing office?
You're kidding, right?
Nope.
How would anyone know that? In an office full of desks to search, how the hell are you going to know to search a pile of dirt in the corner?
It's a bad game. Why do you think we charge?
Yeah, you charge 95 cents a minute. I get it. I get it.
So, you want me to talk dirty to you?
Alright, I got a free afternoon. Alright, so back to the review. After taking the advice from that nice young gentleman on the end of the sex line, I decided to follow the steps he said, which was to search that pile of dirt in the leasing office, and then gradually punch to death every guard on the map. And lo and behold, I beat the level. 16 years ago when I tried to play that, I assumed because I didn't have weapons that I couldn't kill anyone because the game never taught me how to punch. And as a result, I attempted to use the stealth functions in the game, which are garbage. Because I assumed, because the game gave you a pebble that you could throw to theoretically draw the attention of the guards, that you could use that to get their attention away from you so you could move past them. No, as soon as you throw that rock, it literally just aggroes every guard in the entire map to you. So it's a terrible plan, and doesn't work. But progressing forward, I found myself moving on to the third level of the game, which was one of the most irritating experiences I've ever had, where the game now requires you to have a party member that doesn't auto-follow you, but you actually have to toggle between the two and move them around. So not only are you now managing the fighting system of one character, you're managing a second character which you actually can't necessarily control itself automatically. You have to toggle to it and then control them. So it makes the game exponentially more irritating because you have to micromanage two characters, and then the puzzles require you to use two characters as well. And there are just some things in the game that just don't functionally work, like you have to disable puzzles. But because the game is so weird, nothing happens, and like the deadly gas that's blocking a corridor stays on. Or my personal favorite is when I had to go get a third member to join my party, and he glitched out and wouldn't move, so I just sat there and threw rocks at him for 3 minutes until his character kicked back online and we could follow and complete the mission. So, nothing after the second level is fun, nor was anything in the first or second. 16 years ago when I played this, I think I was young enough and naive enough to maybe think that, hey, the story was enough to carry the gameplay. So, when you ask someone what the worst game ever made is, they might generically respond with E.T. for the Atari 2600. And I don't even think that's a fair assessment. E.T. was made by one guy over the course of 6 weeks. This game presumably had a team of individuals working on it for probably a 10-month deadline. So, they almost have no excuse why their game's terrible. And also, when you cross-compare this game with other titles that came out in the year 2000, or years prior, like namely the game Half-Life, which is exponentially more attractive than this one. So in closing, Anne McCaffrey's Freedom First Resistance is a title that drew me in with fantastic box art, but ultimately was one of those things I'll always remember because of how frustrating it was. And the fact that just the way the game was designed defied conventional logic and how you would play. But thanks for tuning in to the Historicnerd today. You have yourself a wonderful evening, day, or night, or whatever it is you're doing. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, I highly suggest you come over and check out Gokado Retro Game Review, who was kind enough to lend his beautiful Latin voice and acting talents to this episode. I highly suggest you check out my website, historicnerd.com. I also highly suggest you check out theconsoleexplosion.com. It has a number of other content providers there that generate quite a bit of good work that you might find enjoyable. If you want to say something to me directly, feel free to contact me at historicalnerd on twitter.com. So feel free. Alright, thank you very much for dropping by. Have a great night, evening, or day, whatever it is you're doing. Bye.